What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is RuPaul's Drag Race Season 14, Episode 7. So, the guest judge this week is T.S. Madison. Y'all know how much I love my T.S. Madison. Listen, she actually was in the challenge this week, too. And I just said that so I wouldn't forget to say it when it happened. But we start this episode off with a little bit of drama. Now, last week we had, the last episode we had drama during Untucked between Jasmine Kennedy and Maddie Rance. But I said Maddie Rance. Shout out Maddie. Shout out to Maddie Rance. If y'all know, I know if y'all are watching me, y'all definitely are watching Maddie Rance, who is the expert on all things RuPaul. But for whatever reason, that his name was in my head. But what I found interesting was we have this whole situation at the beginning of this episode with Diabetti and Georges. Now remember, Georges won last week's challenge. Now I'm with Diabetti. I don't think that Georges should have won. Dia is feeling like she should have won. She did so much more, and that even if she didn't win, she should have at least been in the top. And she just doesn't, understand what the judges were looking at. And she really kind of came for Georges, talked about all she did was put a napkin around her, and they really didn't take any talent or skill, and she can't believe that she won. And she really kind of came for her to the point where the rest of the girls were feeling a little awkward, like, damn, And it came off very bitter. The way she said it, the way she expressed it, it came off very bitter, and it was just, like I said, it made for a really awkward situation. So the next day they come back, of course they're coming back and they're getting ready for their new week. And she tries to apologize. Dia tries to apologize. But you know how some people apologize and you know that they don't really mean it. They only apologizing because they feel like they're supposed to apologize. That's how it came off. It was, I'm sorry, I wasn't coming for you, but I just felt like I deserved it. I just felt like this happened, and I just felt like that happened. And it was almost like by the end, it was like, girl, you might as well just not said nothing. But either way, so the queens are divided into 3 groups. This is the soap opera challenge, right? It is called Daytona Wind. It is very much in the spirit of our 1980s soap operas, overacting, that kind of thing, right? And the director this week is going to be RuPaul himself. So, of course, the ladies are even more nervous about the fact that, oh my goodness, Mama Ru. So, because Georges won last week's challenge, Georges gets to pick the parts for everybody. And I like the way Georges did it because she could have very easily come from Diabetti and given her a part that she thought she would be bad at or whatever. But I like the way Georges did it, because the way Georges did it was, Georges was like, listen, y'all pick your own parts, because if it all falls out, that's on you. Like, you can't say I gave you a bad part or I set you up. And the only conflict was that Georges wanted the same part that Deja wanted. But Deja was like, oh, well, clearly I'm not going to get that part because, she's picking the parts and she has the final word. So if that's the part she wants, that's the part she's going to get. True. So we had Carrie, Deja, and Georges were in a group practicing. Jasmine, Angeria, and Lady Camden were in a group practicing. Dia, Willow, and Bosco were in a group practicing. Now, poor Lady Camden, everybody picked all their parts before she got a chance to finish reading the script. She was like, I don't read this fast. So she kind of got stuck with the part she had. So she's the only one that her and Deja were really the only ones that sort of didn't get who they wanted. But honestly, we'll get to that. But, it ended up not being necessarily a bad thing. So while they're practicing their lines and everything, and everybody seems to be getting along pretty good. Everything is going, and they get ready to, do their run their, they're actually filming the little soap opera, and Georges did a great job. Now remember, Georges didn't do so well on the first 2 acting challenges they've had, so Georges absolutely impressed Mama Ru. The person that seemed to struggle the most was Angeria. Now, Angeria has been flawless through this whole competition up to this point. You know, if she's not in the top, she's safe. You know, she's never been in the bottom, really never been in risk of being in the bottom. And you could tell that she really got in her head. You could tell that the worse she did, the worse she did, kind of thing, right? Jasmine, her talkativeness came in handy. The other person that seemed like they were struggling was Deja. I said Deja's kind of struggling with this as well. Now, what was interesting though was, and of course, the way Ru was directing them was very interesting. She wanted these exaggerated accents, because it's this whole southern accent thing. They're down south, they're down in Florida, and she wanted them to keep taking these pauses. And I was like, why is she making them drag these words out and making them take these long pauses? Well, when we saw the whole thing play back, the whole wind gag was everybody is farting. So they're pausing so they can insert the sound effects of somebody farting. Now, I'm not one that is usually entertained by fart jokes. But when I tell you that I think this soap opera was probably one of the best that I've seen in a few years on RuPaul, because some of these the musicals and all of that, they are just horrible. Like, some of them are just absolutely horrible. But this one, even with the fart jokes, it was actually pretty good. You know, we had Carrie played the bride, Deja played her mother. She was getting married. Come to find out that the guy she was supposed to be marrying is actually her brother. Willow and Diabetes played like these sisters that were like Valley Girl, exaggerated, drawn out, blonde hair, you know, and both of them knocked it out the park. Like, both of their performances impressed the judges. Lady Camden stole the show, right? The part that she was stuck with, the part that she didn't want, she actually absolutely stole the show. Jasmine did a really good job. And Jeria, even though it looked like she struggled through the filming, but when they spliced it all together, she actually came off pretty good. It definitely wasn't her best performance, but it wasn't her worst. I mean, but it wasn't, again, it didn't put her in the bottom. So, during the mirror talk, they're talking about Folsom. Because Lady Camden is from San Francisco, or lives in San Francisco, I should say. We know she's from England. And they got to talking about Folsom. So Folsom is a kink festival. It's people who are in the leather community, into kinky fetishes, bear, you know, all these different things. It's sort of their pride kind of thing. And I have friends who are in the leather community who do kink. And I've heard of Folsom. They go to Folsom. They've been to Folsom. And so they were just kind of educating us about what Folsom is, and Jerry had never been. And Jerry was like, they were talking about how people, you know, free having sex and stuff like that. And then Jerry was like, people having sex down to the fair? She said it's so funny. And they were like, yeah. And she said, well, I want to go to the fair. It was funny. So that was cute, you know. And again, I think, you know, a lot of us, we have become used to the corporate sponsored pride, as they were saying. But this is, you know, this is the pride that you're not gonna see on TV, right? But it's definitely a major part of the community. And like I said, I have friends who are in the leather community and do, you know, into kink and stuff like that. I actually even had an After Dark. Y'all have to find it. It's I'm sure I have an After Dark playlist. I have an After Dark playlist, and you can see where I talk to my friends who are in the kink community, in the leather community, and you can hear all about it. I'm gonna try to find, you know what, I'm gonna try to find that link and put it in the description box. I'm gonna try to find the link to that video and put it in the description box. But anyway, so the runway was chaps, all chaps, everything chaps. So Willow gave us a very S&M style. The chaps were plastic, and her butt was out, and she had this whole wig thing, and it actually had hands holding this exaggerated ponytail. It was really cute. Bosco did a whole motorcycle thing with the pink, had the headband and the bralette, and with the studs on it. The chaps were like bell bottomed out at the bottom. She had the long straight hair, very Cher-ish, right? I loved it. I loved hers. Had the fringe all over it. Deja had like a blue cheetah print chap situation going on. Carrie Colby had a whole hair thing. Her chaps, it was all hair, and then she had these long braided wigs. She said there was a 90 inches of hair, honey. Georges had the Victoria's Secret burlesque chap thing going on. It was cute. It was, the brown panties, and the chaps looked very stocking-like, very lacy. I liked it. Then we had Angeria, who had a very solid gold chap situation. It was the gold, and it had the bell bottom out. Very exaggerated shoulder. It had like a puffed shoulder out. It was really cute. Jasmine Kennedy was campy. She had like a cap and gown chap situation going on, and it was really cute. It was campy. Lady Camden was the best. Lady Camden came out on the runway, and she was punk rock, right? She had this punk rock thing going on, and then she fell. And you could see that the judges genuinely thought she fell. You could hear them going, "Oh my God, are you okay? Oh girl, you all right?" And baby, she did a reveal. She took the wig off. She had the guy wig. She put a mustache on, and then she took off the top part, and it was a very Freddie Mercury situation going on. That was the best. That was the best, because everybody thought she had really fallen. But baby, I was here for it. So, Ru calls everybody's name except for Lady Camden, Diabetes, Willow, was it Jasmine, and it was somebody else. Everybody else was safe. But Ru was like, we're going to switch it up. There are no bottoms tonight. Nobody's going home. But everybody whose name I called is on top. And you will lip sync for the $5,000. And I said, that's cute, because we know Cornbread went home. So the number was off. I thought she was just going to do a double Shantae You Stay. Like, she was going to have the bottom, but then just be like, oh, they did such a good job with the lip sync, I can't send nobody home. But I like the way she did this better. Like, there are no bottoms. Everybody, because she said everybody, and I agree. I think everybody did a good job. Because like I said, I think that was one of the best in a long time. So I agree with her. Everybody did a good job. So it came down to Lady Camden and Diabetes, and they had to lip sync to Blondie one way or another. Now, thank God Diabetes finally got a top. She finally got a critique, and the critique was really good. The critique was really good, and then, of course, she had to give a speech. Child, don't nobody care. Just take your critique and keep it moving. Don't nobody care about how you worked really hard, and you're so glad that the judges finally see her. Girl, because next week you might be back in the bottom. Just be quiet. Just take it and keep it going. Lady Camden was like, this is mine to take. She said, Blondie, one way or another, that is my favorite song. And bitch, when I tell you that Lady Camden was all over that stage, you definitely saw the ballet in her background. You definitely saw that that's a song she was passionate about. She gave you campy. She gave you silly. But she also gave you dance. She was here. Now, Diabetes did all right. I mean, I ain't going to say she didn't do a good job. But baby, Lady Camden from the first note controlled that stage. So Lady Camden wins. She gets the $5,000. And nobody goes home. So that's it. We're slowly but surely getting caught up, child. We on episode 8. We gonna get there. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.